What's going on, everyone? Thanks so much for joining me today. This is a video continuing in the Dryfire series, which we're going to be covering loading and unloading of the AR platform. So without further ado, let's get started. There are two different manners to load it. You can either load it with a bolt forward or bolt lock to the rear. Both have pros and both have cons. So let's get started. First, ensure that the weapon is on safe, and if you have a sling, go ahead and sling your weapon. Next, we need to check the capacity of the magazine. This is a 30 round magazine loaded to 30. I'm going to just double check. If I can get a thumbnail in, it's 30, which it is. If you download to 28, the rounds will be right about there, right below the cutout. So you can see, it's just below the cutout. So that's 28. I got a video discussing the pros and cons of loading to 30 or downloading to 28. Alright, I'm going to grab the weapon like I intend to use it with my right hand, ensure the weapon is on safe, and I'm going to point the muzzle down. The reason why I want to point the muzzle down is if there's a discharge, it's going into the dirt or into the ground, versus if you have it up, it's going anywhere, especially if you have buildings or houses anywhere. You don't want that round flying anywhere except where you want it to. So, muzzle down. Next, take the magazine, insert it until it clicks, and then you tug down to make sure it's fully seated, which it is. Next, you're going to take the charging handle, pull the charging handle all the way to the rear, and then release it. Next, we're going to do a press check. Index to thumb. My thumb is the stopper. I'm going to pull back so I can just barely see it. Or at nighttime, I'm going to pull back just far enough so I can feel it. Feel for the bolt carrier. Bolt on top of the extractor, and I feel just in front of it there's a cartridge. Once I clear my fingers, I'm going to release the charging handle. I'm going to push on the forward assist and then close the dust cover. This weapon is now ready to go. Unloading, remove the source of the ammo, push the bottom of the bolt catch, pull the charging handle back all the way to the rear, push the charging handle forward, and also making sure that the weapon is on safe, pointing the weapon down. I'm going to check the chamber, check the magazine well, and ease the bolt forward, close the dust cover. This weapon is now unloaded. Next is loading with the bolt lock to the rear. Loading the weapon with the bolt lock to the rear just makes it easier to insert a fully loaded magazine. So, muzzle down, bottom of the bolt catch, pull the charging handle all the way to the rear and lock it forward. You don't want the charging handle free floating. If you were to release the bolt with a free floating charging handle, you're going to damage it. So lock the charging handle forward. Check the chamber. Check the magazine well. Check the magazine capacity. Insert the magazine, push pull, and I'm going to hit the top of the bolt catch. Press check it. Alright, it is now loaded. Release the charging handle, push the forward assist, close the dust cover. This weapon is now loaded. Unloading is exactly the same. Safe direction, weapon on safe, push the bottom of the bolt catch, pull the charging handle all the way to the rear, push the charging handle forward, check the chamber, check the magazine well, ease the bolt forward, close the dust cover, and this weapon is now unloaded. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all on the next one. I'm out.